The Metaverse, a new form of digital social interaction that one day all of us will be a part of, where Facebook will be at the helm. What do you want? What do you mean metaverses aren't new? What do you mean this recent trend is just a cash grab? Recently, Meta, the parent company to Facebook, had its stock price drop by 26%. 230 billion US dollars of value lost. We all laughed and we all cheered, but there's a whole number of reasons why this happened. Firstly, there's a small but growing group of people that are starting to realize how much value their data actually has and don't want companies like Facebook, Google, and all of these other massive corporations collecting every single thing they can. On the flip side, though, there's also a lot of people that aren't using Facebook, instead use services like TikTok, which harvest as much data or maybe more than Facebook do anyway, so not everyone care about privacy. Also, there is a general lack of interest in what Facebook is selling as the metaverse. Not the metaverse as a concept, but this weird corporatized, sanitized metaverse that Facebook and Meta are trying to make. Right now, you're probably seeing pictures of Horizon Worlds on the screen, and tell me this is a space you actually want to be in and don't want to escape as quickly as possible. And I realized I've never actually talked about my opinion on the metaverse on this channel, so while Meta is burning, I guess this is the best time to actually do so. While using the term metaverse to describe it is certainly new, what is being shilled as a metaverse is by no means new, and we've all been experiencing them for like 20 plus years now. So what is a metaverse then? A metaverse is a network of 3D virtual worlds focused on social connection. Now, some people are determined to say that if you don't interact with the world through virtual reality, whether that's a VR headset or some future technology that comes along, then it's not a metaverse. I'm in the camp that says that you don't need it to be VR, but VR obviously would be a, preferential way to interact with it. I don't think there's really any need to tie down these worlds to a specific interaction method. If it is a living, breathing digital world, I think it's fair to describe it as a metaverse. Besides just talking to people, making friends, forming relationships, making enemies, and all that fun stuff, these worlds will be filled with various things to keep you engaged with the world and keep you coming back for more and more and more. Let's call these things social activities, so, games that you might interact with, maybe concerts, clubs, or anything else you can think of. And as of late, metaverses are getting bundled with various play-to-earn mechanics, usually backed by a blockchain, and usually involving various forms of NFTs. This is to encourage you to live out your entire life in this world, because hey, if you can pay your rent and buy food and all of that stuff you actually need to do inside of the game, why don't you just play the game more? Hey, you don't need to actually leave your house. Everything in your life is revolving around this world. Basically, the metaverse is a digital replacement to our regular, boring, fleshy lives. And for some people, that might instantly turn you away from the idea. Maybe you're scared of the idea, but it's not a new idea. Meta didn't come up with it. None of these companies that are shilling it right now came up with this. It's been around for a long time and it hasn't destroyed society yet. So let's go back about 20 years to 2003 and talk about one of the early examples of a metaverse, that being Second Life. This is an MMO revolving around living a second, better life. In the real world, you work a 9-to-5 job, you hate your boss, you come home, you don't really do that much exciting, you don't really go out with friends or anything like that, but in your Second Life, you're a millionaire, you have crazy sports cars, you have a mansion, you go to clubs every night, or maybe you have, a loving family, you have 15 cats, whatever you want to do. You can live a better life than the life that you're living right now. You build social circles, you go to events, you become a part of this world, and you live your life in this digital space. How about a less ambitious but far more modern example, that being VR chat? I think the best way to describe VR chat is if you take a Discord room or a subreddit and you gave everyone in that a digital avatar and you gave some of them VR headsets. That's probably the best way to look at it. You don't have to be your normal boring self. You could be a Pikachu. You could be Ugandan Knuckles. You can be a 20-foot tall giantess. It doesn't really matter. You can be whatever you want, and you can build these social interactions, you can make new friends, and do all of this fun stuff living in a digital world. But a metaverse doesn't just have to be about communication. It can be about communication plus having a game on the side. Let's say World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, even something like Roblox fits all the criteria to be a metaverse. And sure, we can make it a totally normal thing to live out all your life in a digital space and pretend like you're actually a part of that world. Do you know what we call those people though? RPers. They're just role players. A metaverse, as what's being shielded by Facebook, is basically just the logical conclusion of being an RPer. With all that being the case then, why didn't Facebook launch an MMO years ago? Well, nowadays, there is a recent innovation, a way to easily monetize stupid people, that being NFTs. Non-fungible trash. I mean tokens, but it means basically the same thing. Convincing people to buy nothing for real money. I guess technically not nothing. You're buying a link that you don't own, or own the content of the link, but you have a thing that says you own it. So that's cool. Why would people buy nothing for money? Well, blockchain-induced artificial scarcity. So if we have digital land, digital clothes, a digital skin for your character, anything like that, what reason exists for there to be only one as opposed to 1 million? There's no labor shortage, there's no supply chain, maybe you could argue storage concerns, but the cost of upgrading storage is so incredibly cheap nowadays, it's not something even worth considering. The reason why there is one as opposed to 1 million is entirely arbitrary to convince people that thing is actually limited. Then what you do is you sell that thing and you convince people that because it's limited, it's going to go up in value. So they sell it again, and every time they sell it, you just scrape money off the top and you make lots of money for doing no work. So you do no work, you sell nothing, and you make millions of dollars. It's basically a perfect plan. But here's the thing about buying and selling items in a game. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. And I have a question. What purpose does the blockchain serve in your architecture? Why do you need a blockchain there as opposed to any other solution? I would say that you do not need a blockchain and you do not need NFTs. You can buy and sell items in a game, buy and sell any digital assets without having a blockchain anywhere involved. Take any game with a real money auction house component. Diablo 3. TF2, CSGO, none of these games have blockchains backing them because you do not need a blockchain to sell digital assets. All you need is a database. All a blockchain is a really slow database that also happens to be immutable. That is the only advantage the blockchain actually has. But even though it's immutable, it doesn't mean that you actually own the thing you have bought. Because if the link expires, if your NFT gets blacklisted, it doesn't matter that you own it, you can no longer use it in the game. Now, I know someone's going to take this out of context and say, oh, Brodie thinks cryptocurrency is bad, he hates all crypto projects. That's not what I'm saying. I think a lot of crypto projects out there have really, really cool use cases and actually have a bright future. I just don't think the NFT use case is at all valid or makes any sense. So why would a lot of these projects include a blockchain? Well, you include a blockchain right now, you include NFTs, even with how many people are mocking NFTs, you print money. If you just say, oh, there's a cash shop in this game, no one's gonna care. If you say, there is an NFT shop, mate, think of how much money I can sell by selling this to people who are dumber than I am. There is a blockchain. The blockchain is immutable. That means that if I buy this, no one can ever take it away from me. ignoring the fact that, front-end stuff can be used to filter out certain NFTs, and it can have the exact same effect without actually removing it from the blockchain, but let's ignore that because it's inconvenient. But you know what? This is the direction we're heading, and it's not stopping anytime soon. While Facebook and Meta had really bad results, that doesn't mean the entire industry is failing. Other companies that run Sandbox, for example, or Axie Infinity, are doing incredibly well. Right now, I'm really sick of hearing about the Metaverse. Not because they're not the future. We are moving ever towards a more digitally connected society, and the past 2 years have only sped it up with online education, online work, more people having free time to spend in online spaces, but because they're already here and have been for most of our lives. What do you think about the Metaverse? Do you think what Facebook is shilling is somehow different from all of the things we've seen before? Or are you in my camp and think, yeah, just go play some Final Fantasy or something, which I might go and do after this video. So if you like this video, remember to go and like the video. And if you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, go check out my Patreon subscribers, Don't Bearer Pay, linked in the description down below. I've got a podcast called Tech Over Tea, available basically anywhere. A gaming channel called Brodie Robertson Plays. That's going to be it for me, and I'm out.